group, the Family Forward Project group. I'll try to get the other people who are in cross groups to go ahead and share that as well. And it's some of the stuff that a lot of it you know, like Title IV funding, the conflicts with the judges, some of the state information, but it's kind of in an organized fashion. Some people have asked me if they can get a copy of that PowerPoint. I'm absolutely fine sharing that PowerPoint. It's very good for you to learn how to do that presentation yourself. It's very good for you educating other people with it. So I'm very willing to share it if anybody wants it. So what I want to talk about today, also I had a packet yesterday of some documents. If you did not get that yesterday, please get one today, which none of us I've not heard anybody else talk about. But it's not an easy solution, but let me tell you about it. There is something called the Uniform Code Commission. The Uniform Code Commission is a national organization, and they write uniform laws. For instance, the Uniform Commercial Code, the Uniform Trust Code, the Uniform Code for Child Custody Jurisdiction, the Uniform Code for Child Support Enforcement. These are uniform codes that are created, and then once they have created and totally written out that uniform code, they send it out to the states and the representatives in the states, and then they try to get this, and then the states adopt the whole entire uniform code. Now, the reason that this is important, an important thing to think about, is because, as I said yesterday, the entire code in Tennessee is broken. And then as I heard LaToya talk yesterday about all of their recommendations, which are very similar to my recommendations, it's a realization that the entire code in Iowa is broken as well. So it's really a start from scratch. There are a lot of things that need to be addressed. So a uniform code, though, is not a simple solution. You've got to get somebody on the Uniform Code Commission, number one. It's a big commitment. It has to be an attorney. I do what I'm doing today, without compensation. I'm an attorney. I work hard, try to pay my bills with that, and then come out and reach out to all of you so that we can take the next step in reform. So you have to get an attorney on the Uniform Code Commission. You have to have people within every single state to be able to pull up the codes in those states, so that, because ultimately you have to show why you need a uniform code, and so you have to show, pull up, like the Iowa, I think they said it was 232. In Tennessee, it's Title 37. So you have to go through each state and pull that up and have somebody who can sort of cross-reference what those points are and why it's so inconsistent. But here's why it's an important thing to look at, because the right to parent is a constitutional right. And that is even stronger than some of the other things that they've written uniform codes on, like the Uniform Commercial Code. I mean, that's about commercial paper. The reason we have that code is because bankers have a lot of money, and they could put somebody in that place to develop that code. So that's an option that we've not talked about yet. I've thought about it many times, creating a uniform code for parental rights and family integrity. It's one of those things hanging out there. I need water. I think I have one back there. So what I want to talk to you right now is about a class action lawsuit. A class action lawsuit would be a civil rights lawsuit. Thanks. 42 USC 1983. I like to have a board I can write on, but since I don't, I made you flashcards, and we're going to paint them up there, tape them up there. I hope you can see them. 42 USC 1983. This is a law. Let me tell you how this law developed. After we abolished slavery in the United States, the black man was still not free. Okay? He basically was treated as a second-class citizen, put on the back of the bus. He was beat up in voter lines. I mean, he really was not free. They had one civil rights law that they passed in about 1874 or something like that. I don't remember the year. But basically it said that every man has a right to their constitutional rights. Well, it still didn't work. We had all of this stuff, and of course everybody who's been around a while knows about the 60s and all of the civil rights stuff that happened in the 60s. This one right here, 42 USC 1983, was passed in 1964. And that is the one that is the law that created money damages for civil rights violations. Now let's talk about what some of the important elements are and what you have to prove. Number one is it has to be a person who violated